Mr. Simkin, please unmute your device and speak.
Hello, my name is Eric Simkin. Can you hear me okay?
Mm-hmm.
Great.
Yes.
I'm a resident in Voorhees Township, and today I'd like to address 3 topics with reservation, and therefore I should be entitled to speak for as long as 9 minutes, assuming all other members of the public who would like to comment have had a turn. Number 1, at the latest board meeting held on January 24th, 2022, during the public comment section, Mr. Cavallo was disruptive, rude, and most importantly, misadvised the public that each member of the public is limited to 2 comments. That is simply not true according to policy 0167, which is public participations in board meetings. I read the policy. Mr. Cavallo, the lawyer for the public, is incorrect and therefore censored the public from making comments which we are entitled to make. I propose Mr. Cavallo shall immediately be relieved of any further representation of this board, since he simply cannot be trusted to provide sound legal advice based on his misinterpretation of a very simple written policy. Perhaps that's a form of malpractice as well, I don't know, but frankly, he continuously bullies the public without cause or without any acceptable reason. There's simply no place for bullies in our town, never mind representing the board against the public the board serves. Number 2, I'm requesting the board immediately make available to the public a list of all questions that will be asked of the candidates for superintendent. If you refuse, I would refer you to policy number 0169, board member use of electronic mail and internet. It's the right of the public to be present at all meetings of the public bodies and to witness in full all phases of deliberations, policy formulation, and decision making. Any and all emails between members of the board, administrators, and vendors, etc., should be made available to the public under both the Open Public Meetings Act and the Open Public Records Act. And therefore, I would also like to mention that in accordance with policy 1220, employment of the chief school administrator, that the board, and I quote, recognizes that the appointment of a person to that office is one of the most important functions this board can perform. And again, I quote, the board shall actively seek the best qualified and most capable candidate for the position of superintendent. Of course, strict compliance to policy 1530 on equal employment opportunities required, but nothing in that policy nor any other policy suggests that choosing a candidate to be considered or appointed for any other reason other than the reasons I mentioned above. That said, I also find it very concerning at best that the choice to interview candidates via Zoom in light of the storm, it completely is not aligned with this process of being, quote, the most important functions this board can perform. I request that this board immediately cease today's interview and only perform interviews live and in person for very obvious reasons. And finally, number 3, due to the fact that there's an obvious lack of transparency that members of the public feel is prevalent in our township relating to community input, parental rights, and choice, I'm proposing that in accordance with policy 9140, advisory committees, I propose that the board immediately move to form several public advisory committees as follows. Number 1.
Again, I apologize, but your time has expired.
Okay, I accept your apology, but it hasn't. I have just one more topic, and is there any other members of the public that are speaking?
I frankly don't know. I can't see from where I'm at, but
No,
policy
nobody's hand is up.
Policy
Okay.
permits you
Hands up.
3
Okay.
minutes to speak. I'm going to respectfully ask that you let the board continue with its business.
I would refer you.
Any other audience members?
There is no one.
Ms. Guerin, are we going to move forward? I believe there's Mr. Simkin has his hand raised again.
It's discretion. It's frankly your discretion of the board president.
I'm going to let him finish his statements.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Thank you again for your consideration. I appreciate it. So I propose that the board immediately move to form several public advisory committees as follows. The first, a board policy and bylaw review and enforcement committee. Second, a curriculum development committee. And third, a committee for vendor vetting. Based on what I see regarding the relationship this community has with this board, and the public has been denied the opportunity to express its concerns with the board, we simply just need a better format for residents of our community to be heard immediately. After all, each of you has taken an oath, and you serve we the people, not really just your own needs or agenda. I will be submitting my resume to the board for consideration for the current board vacancy. I do have some questions about the format and process that are not clear to me in the letter that I picked up at the last meeting, but I certainly will be in contact in writing this coming week about that and the other issues I've raised here today. Thank you very much again.
Thank you,
Mr. Simkin.